So let's start the session, guys. So we are actually in the business management subject. As you know, we have already finished this introduction to management and different perspectives of management topics, where we have discussed about several topics like efficiency, effectiveness, as well as management functions, productivity, the classifications, the roles, modern management, a lot of things. And we move to chapter 2 also, where we have discussed about the past papers as well as theories about decision making, planning, organizing, leading, as well as organizational communication, as well as controlling. Actually, according to our past paper analysis and the questions we have did, we understood that much of the questions, right? So many questions we can expect from the writing sections, not in the OTQ sections. Normally, the OTQ sections, it means the MCQ sections will be filled with operations, marketing, HRM, change, and strategic management. And today's session, we are going to start with this chapter 3, the brand new chapter, that is chapter 3, operation management, that is your 10% of your syllabus, right? So, in this 10% of the syllabus, I have divided this into 12 mini chapters like introduction to operations and the key functions and the production methods in the operation management in a service sector and the Potter's value chain, supply chain management and forecasting demand, capacity planning. These are the functions, facility layout, scheduling of work and quality management and modern technology in operations. So I have classified this into 12 mini topics. So let's start with the introduction to operation management. So my dears, this is going to be an incredible journey because the world of operation management, right? So in this particular topic, in this definition and the core concepts and all of this introduction part, we will explore how business can transform some raw materials, right? It means the materials we are getting from our suppliers into some sellable products as well as service that can reach the customers and make some profit, right? So every successful business, especially manufacturing businesses, they need to understand the operation management in complete good understanding, right? From local Kiel supermarket to Dialogue's massive telecommunication networks, they are having operations. Every organization, especially, they are having operation, right? So let's say you are a young entrepreneur from Colombo and you have a dreams of starting your own food delivery business. So you have ideas, you have very passionate about your idea, you have passionate energy, but when you started, your orders were delayed. Your food arrived in a very cold manner. Your food is not hot, right? The customers are unhappy. So what went wrong? So sometimes, you might have had a great product, but very poor operations management, right? So maybe that's the reason. So by end of this operation management subjects, we will understand exactly what you have to fix to transform your struggling startups into most reliable, kind of food delivery services, for our example. So that's the main objective, not only for the examination purpose, but for your real life entrepreneurship journey. If you are going to involve in entrepreneurship, you must understand the operations management because that is the most important aspect, right? Without operations, you can't have any product or any sales, right? So let's see with the definition and core concept. This is where we learn the foundation and things. Operation refers to the key function in a business which overlooks the whole area related to the conversion of inputs into outputs. The key word is here the conversion of inputs into outputs. Inputs in the sense our time, our money, our machine, our material, method, whatever the resources. So we are taking that resources, that inputs, and we are going to make that as an output. So actually, this is the heart of the business, my dears. The operations management is the heart of the business because the heart is pumping the blood to the entire body. Like that, when you are giving the inputs, the operation management will convert that input as an sellable products and services as an output. That's a conversion process. So that's what I'm saying. the conversion of inputs into outputs. Operations are referred to as the heart of the business, right? I hope so. You are getting my point. So it refers, the key function, right? Let's say, you visit to Food City in the Peta market, right? You see the shelves are very neat, fresh vegetables, and the checkout is very quick. But behind the scenes, there is magic happening, right? The trucks delivering is, that trucks delivering goods at the dawn, right? And staff arranging the products, cashiers processing the payments, and managers, they coordinate everything. So the transformation of the raw goods into organized shopping experience, that's actually operation, not only the production, okay? Not only the operations in the factory, it's called operations. Whatever we are doing, that is operation actually. So operation is like, being a conductor, just like, a conductor coordinates different people, right? So like that. So that is the definition and core concept. The core concept is we are converting the inputs into outputs. Did you get the point? Right? So the conversion of the inputs into outputs. That's the definition and core concept. And let's talk about the operation versus production. Many people, they think, my dears, the operation and the production are the same thing, but actually not. There is an important difference between the production as well as operation. So in my notes, I have included a table for you. But here, let's understand. This is different from the aspect. It means from the scope, from the focus, from the activities. It's different. Production, my dears, it's creating finished goods by processing the raw material. That's simply a production meaning, right? So simply creating the finished goods by processing the raw materials. That is actually happening in the factory level, right? But operation management is a wider scope where production is a sub function, right? The production is a sub function of the operation management. So not only, operation is not equal to production, it's wider scope, right? So production, this aspect, it means the scope is only, we are focusing on what you call creating a finished goods by processing the raw materials. We are taking the inputs and we are creating some finished goods by processing these raw materials in machines and factories and things, right? So that's the meaning of production, right? But in the operation management, as I mentioned earlier, it is a wider scope where the production is a sub function, right? The production is actually one of the function in the operation management. So you have to understand the scope. The operation management scope is very bigger than the production. As well as if you see the aspect of focus, the production is always focused on the manufacturing side, the manufacturing processes. It means the process is actually happening in the factory level, this production, right? But operation, the total business efficiency, right? So it's not only related with the manufacturing, it's all about the operations in the finance, the operation in the HRM, the operations in the whole business, right? How we are utilizing the resources. So you have to understand the operations is thinking about the total business efficiency, but production is only thinking about the manufacturing process. And let's see the aspect of activities. The production, they are only caring about the raw material processing via the production facilities. We have machines, whatever the production lines, we are converting the raw materials into production facilities via production facilities, right? That is only about production. But when we consider the operation management, the coordination of the all core processes, The processes in the operations, the process in the HR, finance, marketing, everything, right? So you have to understand operation management is wider than the production, right? Let's assume you are running a garment factory in Katanayaka area. Initially, you only focused on production, like cutting the fabric, stitching the cloths, and packaging. That is only production. But you struggled with delays in delivery, quality issues, and then you learned about the operation management. Now you coordinate everything. You forecast the demand, like for example, how many shirts will customers want next month, and you manage the suppliers, right? You are ensuring that fabric arrives on time. Now you are scheduling the workers efficiently, right? And maintains quality at every step. That is operation management. So your production is just one part of your bigger operation picture. I hope so you understand it, right? So think about this in this way. Production is like a cooking the meal, but operation management is like running the entire restaurant, from buying ingredients to serving happy customers and managing the staff. Entire thing is operation. So I hope so you understood the difference between the operations versus production. And let's move operation management definition. So operation management is a managerial attempt to accomplish the overall efficiency, right? We are not going to focus only in the production, but the overall efficiency in primary activities, right? So the primary activities, we will achieve the overall efficiency by matching the production activities with a market demand, right? So we are going to match our production activities are actually aligned with market demand, because if there's no demand, if you are producing goods and services with so much cost, you are going to make losses, right? So you have to understand that. So matching production activities within the with a market demand, as well as you are going to reduce the cost, time, as well as the wastage in the core processes, as well as sourcing the external supplies and internal capabilities, right? And directing all the processes to provide right output to the market. So these are the things you will do to achieve the overall efficiency. So matching the production with the actual market demand, you will reduce the cost, time, and wastage in the core processes. You will source some external supplies and internal capabilities to achieve efficiency, and you are going to redirect all the process to provide right output. So this is how you will achieve operational efficiency in an operation management. So let's move to the focus area. The focus areas, my dears, as I mentioned earlier, strategic plan, formulating plans to achieve the long term goals. In operation management, you will do some sort of, strategic planning, right? Like we have to manage our production facilities, right? In efficient manner. And you will do some supply chain management, right? It means managing the chain from the raw materials procurement to final delivery. So supply chain is means where we are getting the raw materials to delivering the goods to the customers. So the all the things related to its supply chain, right? We have to manage from the sourcing the raw materials to delivering the goods, as well as you will focus on the process design, right? It means designing the efficient production as well as the service processes. And the quality management also, you will ensure the quality of products and services are good. So these are the focus areas, my dears, actually in the operation management. So now we can define the role of operation management. This is a very good question area. I have given a chart or table, in the notes. So the role of operation management is make what customers want, right? Because customers, they seek products, not the business itself. They are not seeking your business. They are seeking the products. Customers deal with the business only for the products, and products created through operations process makes business live in the market. If you don't have the product, how can you do the business? So make what customers want. That is one of the big role of operation management. And make the brand for the business. Leading business names known for what they make, right? Nike, it's known for shoes. Apple, it's known for their Apple MacBooks, their products, right? That's the role of the operation management. Leading business names known for what they make. Business reputation depends on the operations performance. The products introduce the business to the world, right? Because of the product only, your business name is spreading out. You know, because for example, because of the ChatGPT product, the open AI business name is spreading out, right? And the role of the operation management, utilize the resources and competencies for the competitive edge, right? The success depends on creating competitive advantage. Competitive advantage comes from unique resources and core competences. So the operation management acts as the heart of the business to create these unique resources and core competencies. So it pumps energy to all other units and division to keep the businesses active. So that is the third role. And the fourth role is create the basis for the profitability, because production cost management enabled through operations. If you control the cost, if you are controlling the profit, if you are controlling the price in a very good manner, you can earn profit, right? So managing the supply chain in the internal activities and maintaining the gap between the targeted revenue and the production cost, so that is the basis for the profitability, the operation management. And it creates the basis for the market leadership. Higher the market share is competition among the firms. Customer seeks better value through business offerings. Operation management performance determine the market leadership. Act as a lifeline for the business success. This is a, always a testing area, my dears. You can see question the role of operation management. Actually in 2023 January paper question number 4, we have done all the A and B questions. Now we are focusing on the C question. Explain two roles of operation management in today's context of Sri Lanka. That's what we have studied, right? It makes what customers want. It makes the brand for the business. It utilizes the resources and competencies. It creating competitive advantage. It creates the basis for the profitability. It creates the basis for the market leadership. Let's see the answers. Right? Here the answer. Make what customers want. The customers in the market really seek the product, not the business. They deal with the business in the market only for the reason they have the product. Hence, the product which is created at the operations process makes the business live in the market, makes the brand for business. The leading business names are well known not because of who they are, but what they make. The business is introduced products not to the world. Hence, the reputation of the blame is the performance of the operation. Utilize the resources and competencies for the competitive edge. The secret of success of business is creating the competitive advantage in the market. The competitive advantage is a function of unique resource and core competencies utilized in the operation. Hence, the operations management needs to perform as the heart of the business, which pumps same note, right? Same thing. Just try, read, understand, do the question, right? As well as you can see in another question paper also, that is actually from 2021 July paper, question number 5, right? We have to see the B question. Explain the two roles of operation management for the success of a business organization. See the same table, same. I am including this table, right, in the notes. What make what customers want, make the brand for the business, utilize the resources and competencies, create the basis for the profitability, create the basis for the market leadership. Same things. So this is actually a question area, a repeatable question area, as well as the challenges in the service operations. My dears, even though operations simply the people are most of the people are considering it is for the production or manufacturing company. Not only that, even service organization like us, digital accounting private limited, we have so much of operations, right? So there are challenges in the service operations. What is that? The demand forecasting difficulties. For a service organization, we cannot forecast the demand in a good manner, right? Sales cannot be measured in quantitative terms. The impact on determining the level of service rendered, the demand forecasting is very difficult in service operation, as well as the cost determination having some difficulties, because the resources mostly intellectual, our knowledge, our efforts, our time. So very intellectual and intangible, we cannot see with our eyes. So it's very difficult to price each instant precisely. That also one of the challenges in service operations. So customer requirements understanding, different aspects expected in the service rendering. People are, expecting in different ways. And operation managers must understand exact needs, right? So this is also one of the challenge. And facility adjustment difficulties. Limited facilities difficult to adjust for the customer expectation. preferred time, location, language requirements. These are the challenges. And the communication difficulty is also there. Language barriers and terminologies, regulatory procedures. It needs proper communication. So these are the challenges in the service operations, my dears. So students, the azan is going on. Give me 2 3 minutes and let's continue. Right. So these are the challenges in service operation. So actually, my dears, what we are trying to tell is, in the service sector, my dears, services are actually different from the products. Right. You can't patch a haircut or a store, a taxi, right. So this creates a unique challenge for operation managers in service businesses. In the actual notes I have given, the difference between goods and services, but I'm not including in the mind map because that's very basic concept, right? So imagine the difference between buying a shirt from some shop versus getting your haircut at a salon. Those are different because the shirt you can examine, you can return if there's any fault, right? It is same for every customers from that batch of production, but the haircut happens once. You can't be returned, right? And it depends on the barber's skills and your requirements. That is service. That's what I have included in the actual notes, my dears. You can see the goods that are tangible. You can see, you can store, you can have physical substance, but services, it cannot be stored. It cannot be seen. There is no physical substance. As well as the process is the goods, we have raw materials, we are converted that in the factory. It is very visible. But services, it's all about your skills, your knowledge. It's most visible, right? Intellectual property. As well as the goods, it can be extracted from the manufacturer. It's sold by intermediaries, right? We have seen intermediaries in the business environment subject, right? Intermediaries mean the wholesalers, the agents, the distributors. But service, it cannot be extracted. It's only direct sales possible. And goods always homogeneous when produced in the same batch. But services, even if I'm taking this same class with the same notes with a different batch, it's going to be different. The examples I'm going to use is different. That is service, right? So the challenges in the service operations, my dears, I hope so you understood. The challenge is actually the first one is demand forecasting, right? So demand forecasting in the sense, for example, it's very hard to predict how many customers they will need our service. It's very hard to predict. For example, let's say you are running a beauty salon in Kandy area. you're forecasting having some challenges. Sometimes if there is a wedding season, suddenly 10 customers, they need your services in the same day. In the school exam period, almost no customers. As students focus on their studies, you know, they don't want the beauty salon problems, right? So like that, as well as in the rainy seasons, very fewer customers. But you can't predict the weather weeks, right? And the festival times, high demand for specific services. So the demand forecasting is very difficult in service businesses, right? So unlike a product manufacturer who can make inventory in advance, but you can't, pre-do your haircuts and store them. You can't do like that. That's one of the challenge. I hope so you understood right now, okay? And the cost determination difficulties. What this means? It means, my dears, it's hard to calculate exactly how much each service will cost because the resources are mostly skills and knowledge, right? Let's say you are providing a tutoring services in Colombo. You have some cost calculation challenges. Sometimes our time is vary. Some students understand very quickly within 30 minutes, but others they need 2 hours for the same concept to understand. So how can you estimate your cost? And the knowledge complexity, teaching a basic math versus advanced concept, it requires different expertise level, right? As well as sometimes you have to give individual assessment. Sometimes you have to do group classes versus one-on-one session. It uses resources very differently. As well as the preparation time, think about some subject, they need extensive preparation. Others don't. So that's what the service industry, the cost determination is very difficult, right? You know, it's like, trying to price advice. How do you put a price tag on experience and expertise? No, that's the challenge. As well as the customer requirements understanding. My dears, every service customer has a different needs and as well as different expectation that are not always clearly expressed, right? For example, let's say you are operating a catering service in Goal area. You have challenge in understanding the customer requirement. Sometimes, the cultural preference. Different families, they have different spicy levels, different food restrictions. Some people vegetarian, some people non-vegetarian. Some people very, they need hot spicy food. So cultural preference. Even sometimes the event types, for example, some birthday party caterings, that's different from the funeral catering. So it requires complete different approach, right? As well as you have budget constraints. Some customers, they want very elaborate presentation. Others, they focus on quantity only. As well as timing complexity, flexibility also there. Some events, they can adjust the timing. Others, like weddings, they are fixed. So the customer requirements understanding is very difficult in service operations. As well as the facility adjustment difficulties. What is that? Service facilities are actually very harder to adjust quickly. We cannot adjust, for a different customer needs. Let's say you are running a clinic in Betiklo, my dears. You are facing some facility challenges because the language requirement, Tamil speaking patients, Sinhala speaking patients, English speaking patients, the language requirement is different. As well as time preference. Some patients, they need early morning appointments. Others, they prefer evening. As well as some privacy needs. Some treatments need private rooms. Others, it can be in open areas. And equipment sharing, very limited equipment. It must be served patients with a different needs. So, it's like minus a factory can run 24 hours making identical products, but a clinic, it must adjust constantly for different patient and needs and preferences. That is what the facility adjustment difficulties are there. As well as I mentioned earlier, also communication difficulties. Service, it requires more communication between the service provider and the customer. So it will create some opportunities as well as misunderstanding, my dears. Let's say you are doing, home appliance repair service in Jaffna. You have communication challenge. You have technical explanation. So you have to explain some complex problems in simple terms to your customer. They don't understand some jargons and some technical words. As well as in the language barriers. Customers speak Tamil, but you are more comfortable in English, right? And the time estimate, let's say customers want exact timing, but repairs, it can be unpredictable. Sometimes it will take more than 2 hours. You have estimated only 2 hours, but it takes 12 hours, right? And the cost communication, you have to explain why some repair cost more than others. So the communication difficulties are more in the service sector operations. I hope so. You got the point. So This is also question area, my dears. You can see the question from 2022 January paper, A question. Explain three difficulties by an organization that operates in the service sector in relation to operation management. Let's see the answers. See, difficulty in forecasting the demand. Forecast cannot be exactly measured in quantitative terms, so that it is difficult to forecast the level of demand and service to be rendered, and difficulties in determining the cost of operation. Since the resources used in service delivery are mostly intellectual and intangible, determining the cost at each instant is difficult, and also the competence used to serve different customers cannot be exactly priced. And difficulties in understanding the customer's requirement, not like tangible products, customers expect different aspects in the service rendering. So it's very difficult to understand what customers really needs, and very difficult is in communication. Most of the time, communication is an essential component in service delivery. Language, technology, culture, social norms, and regulatory procedures are some of the communication barriers need to overcome in service delivery. And difficulties in adjusting the facilities to suit the customer expectation. When operating with a limited facilities, it is difficult for a service businesses to adjust the capacities to meet the customer's requirements, such as preferred time, location, and language, right? So, my dears, so that's all about, the question. So, most of the time it is a repeated question, the challenges in service operations, as well as what are the strategies we can use to minimize these problems in service operations as well. The first one is integrations of marketing operation, right? So, customers directly served. Marketing cannot be separated from the service delivery. Operations functions extended to handle the customer. So that is one of the strategy. What this means in service businesses, my dears, the person delivering the service is the marketing. They can't be separated. That's what I'm saying. Integration of marketing with operations. Because if I am delivering the service, I should integrate with the marketing. That's what I'm putting my images rather than digital accounting logo. Most of the time, I'm putting my images, my photos, because the person who is delivering the service should integrate with marketing, right? They can't be separated. Let's say we are running an institute, right? Digital accounting private limited. We are giving you the tutoring services for AAT, right? Like, let's say the operation staff, they are as a marketers, as a teacher, as a lecturer, I have to best in using marketing tools. The quality of the service is equal to marketing, right? Happy students, they recommend to the friends. As well as there's a direct customer interactions. Every class is an opportunity to build some relationship, right? One bad class, it can damage marketing efforts. So the reputation management is important, right? So for example, I'm helping struggling students to pass the exams. That success story will become a powerful marketing, right? That brings new students, new customers. So the service operation strategies to overcome these challenges in the service operation, we have to integrate marketing with our operation. That's what I'm saying. Customers directly served, marketing cannot be separated from the service delivery. Operations functions extended to handle the customers also. And the second strategy is customer service integration into operation. So now, not only marketing, my dears, the customer service integration also into operations. Customer service cannot be separated from operations for service operations. Activities extended to manage the customer relationship. Let me explain this in simple terms. My dears, for the operations management, if it is in the service industry, the customer service is not separated department. It's built into every aspect of your service delivery. Let's say you are running a three-wheeler taxi service, right? During the taxi ride, you have to have a friendly conversation, safe driving, clean vehicle. Before the drive, right? You have to have a prompt pickup, accurate location finding. After the ride, you have to give the fair pricing, a polite goodbye, contact information for further rides, right? And problem solving. If delayed or something happen, immediate communication and solution. So, my dears, you have to know in manufacturing, customer service handled complaints after purchase. But in service, every moment is customer service. Every moment, right? So, for the service operations, to overcome the challenges we have seen, we have to integrate the customer services also into operations, as well as minimization of warehousing operations. You know, service business, they don't need much storage, right? Like we know we don't need warehouses and stores, right? Service businesses don't need much storage because their main resources are people skills as well as the knowledge, right? So most resources are intellectual and internal. No heavy dependency on warehouse or supply chain. Concentration on service delivery only. Let's say you are running an accounting services in Kandy area. You don't need inventory, right? No inventory. The main resources are your knowledge, your softwares, everything in digital, the files and everything. The minimal usage of the storage, just office space for meetings and computers. Your focus is for the shift, right? The more budget for staff training, less for warehouse management. You have location flexibility. You can operate from small offices since no storage needed. So we are going to minimization of warehousing. That is also one of the strategy you can use in the service operations, right? Minimization of warehouses. And let's move outward focus. What this means, my dear service businesses, it must constantly monitor the external market factors. We are focusing on outside of the business because they directly interact with customers. So market forecast, research, customer support integrated, external market factors consideration required. What this means, let's say you are doing an event planning service in particular area. You have to think about the market trends now. You have to learn constantly new decoration styles, popular themes, and you have to get the customer feedback, regular surveys and follow-ups. And you have to monitor your competition, knowing what other event planners offers, as well as some economic factors you have to consider, understanding how economic conditions affect the celebrations budgets, right? That is outward focus, as well as skill-based integration. What is this? Service workers, they need both technical skills as well as people skills, my dears. The staff requires communication skills, relationship management, market awareness in addition to operational skills also, right? So let's say you are running a computer training center. It requires, your trainers to have technical skills, deep knowledge about the software, hardware. They need very strong communication skills, ability to explain very complex concepts simply. They need patience, right? Working with the students of different learning speeds, we need patience. As well as we have to be cultural awareness, understanding the student backgrounds and the context, because different students from different backgrounds. As well as you must know the market knowledge, knowing which skills are in demand in job market, right? So my dears, if you're running a factory, they need only technical skills, how to produce the goods. But service workers are performers who must excel in multiple areas simultaneously. So that's what these are the strategies we can follow in the service operation. Let's see the question that is from 2022 January section B question 4B question. A question already done. State 4 strategies that can be adapted by the operation management in the service sector for a better value addition, right? See the answer. Integration of marketing activities with operation, inclusion of customer service into operation, minimization of warehousing, operation and supply chain activities, outward focus, integration of skills based service differentiation, competing the price, developing new services. I have simply given very important points because you can't carry all of this to the examination. That's why I'm giving only 4 5 items, right? So that is the introduction to operations management, my dears. I hope so. You got a very good understanding right now. So we must know operation is something different, production is something different. Operation management is much wider than just thinking about production, as well as operation is applicable for the service industries also. And also you have to understand, the manufacturing firms, they are producing tangible products to the market, but the service firm, they are producing intangible service to the customers. So they are different, right? So let's move to the key functions and activities, right? Key functions means what? Now we dive into the actual work of operation management. What do operation managers actually do every day, right? Let's say, my dears, imagine you are an operation manager, right? in a busy restaurant, right? So you're coordinating multiple activities very simultaneously, right? You are ensuring that okay, the ingredients for the fresh, like if you are running a restaurant, your ingredients, your raw materials are very fresh, and you are organizing the kitchen in a good manner. You are managing the timing. You are making sure every dish meets the quality standards. So that is the function. So there are pre-production activities. We can call this as a functions of operation management. Okay. If the question is asking functions of operation management or pre-production or pre-planning activities of operation management, whatever, right? That is this. Okay. So supply chain management, forecasting demand, capacity planning, layout designing, production scheduling, quality management. You have to remember these points. Anyhow, you have to remember, my dear. This is repeatable question area, right? So, you know, the process is very simple, my dears. We will take inputs, okay? First, we will take inputs. The correct materials at the correct quantity, at correct quality, correct time, correct place, correct cost. That is input. And after that, operation management. So that is the operation management here. Supply chain, forecasting, demand, capacity planning. So your activities and production. After that, you will get the output. The correct output to the correct customers at the correct time with the correct quality. So the middle, that is the operation management. That is these parts. Supply chain management, forecasting demand, capacity planning, layout designing, production scheduling, quality management. We will learn this one by one also. Right? So let's say the pre-production activities, that is the functions of product operation management. Before any actual production happens, my dears, the operation managers must complete these 6 crucial activities. It's like a foundation before building a house. So let's see one by one. The first one is supply chain management. The management of supplier relations and related aspects. What this is about, my dears, managing the relationship with our suppliers, that is supply chain management. Because we have to ensure our business gets the materials when it needs, at the right quality, at the right price. That is supply chain management. We have to manage the suppliers actually. Right? Let me highlight that word, supply chain. So, management of supplier relations and related aspects. Ensuring business acquires required materials, pre-planning to ensure materials are prepared in the warehouse, dealing with suppliers to rectify the issues. These all are supply chain management. So let's assume you're running a small textile business in Colombo. Your supply chain management, it will involves like this, Marius. You will build some relationship with the cotton suppliers, let's say in Mahiyangane area. So where that's very famous for the cotton supplies. And you are coordinating with dye suppliers because you have to ensure the color consistency, right, in your textile. As well as you have to manage the transportation from the suppliers to your workshop. And you are having some backup suppliers in case primary suppliers face problems. So that is supply chain management, right? For example, let's say your name is Mariam, okay? Sorry, yes, your name is Mariam. So Mariam's cotton supplier suddenly couldn't deliver. So if you don't have a good supply chain management, then your entire production would stop. The workers would be idle and the customers would be disappointed. But because you have a backup suppliers and strong relationship, you can quickly solve such a problems. That is supply chain management. This is a pre-production or one of the operation management function, right? And let's talk about the forecasting demand. What is this? Predicting how much customers will want to buy in the future. So you can plan your production accordingly that. So production volume must reflect the market demand. Finalizing production flow for accurate volumes or units. Managing limited durability and demand uncertainties. Let me tell you one example. Your name is Farhan, okay? Farhan, you own a small ice cream cart business in Golf Face. During your first year, you learned demand forecasting in the hard way. You know very well now, the rainy days, you prepared 100 ice creams but sold only 10. So you did overproduction. You made a loss. Then after that you understood, okay, you have to check the weather. In the rainy days, we can't sell more ice creams. And hot weekend, you prepared only 50 ice creams, but you have sold 200. You could have sold, okay, but you don't have ice creams. So you miss the opportunity because of the underproduction. And in the school holiday period, you didn't realize the demand would triple. You have unprepared. So you miss the opportunity. So now, because of your experience, now you can forecast the demand. You will check the weather, you will know the school calendar, you will track the festival dates, you study about the customer patterns. Now you can do the forecast demand. So, my dears, the demand forecasting, it's like, being a fortune teller. But instead of crystal balls, you use the data, experience, and market knowledge, right? That is forecasting demand. And let's learn about the capacity planning. That is also one of the core function of an operation management or pre-production activities. What does this mean? It means, my dears, we have to decide how much our business can produce, and we have to ensure we have enough resources, the people, machine, space, everything, to meet the demand without waste, right? Let's say you are operating a small printing shop near to the Colombo University, right? Your capacity planning have journey, right? But without capacity planning, you have accepted every order without checking the possibility. Sometimes you worked 18-hour days to meet the deadlines. Other times you have expensive machines that are not using. Your quality is suffered when you are rushing. But now you have a capacity planning. You have calculated your shop and you can handle 500 pages per day with a quality. Your printing shop. That's the only capacity. Now you know. And you have accept orders according to that capacity. And now you are planning the busy period, like exam period, exam time, you are hiring temporary people. And you are using, in the slow period, you are having maintenance and skills development. So because of why? Because you have a capacity planning now. You are running your business successfully. As well as another important function is layout designing. What this means? You have to organize your workspace, your factory, your production processes, your equipment, your processes for the maximum efficiency as well as for the safety. Let's say, my dears, you are running a small restaurant in Peta. Your layout design, it has a transformation. Before the layout designing, it's like a poor layout in the beginning stage. Your kitchen is far from the dining area, right? Waiters wasted time walking here and there. And your storage blocked the cooking area. The chef constantly moving around here and there. And the cash counter is near to the kitchen. It's very noisy and confusion because it's a poor layout. There is no designing of the layout. Now you are doing smart layout designing. After you have did improvement, now your kitchen is close to service area because the waiters, so no need to wait, right? So you have a logical flow: storage and preparation and cooking and serving. And the cash counter is near entrance now with a clear customer flow. You can look at in the Cargill's Food City as well as the Keel supermarket. The counter is near to the exit, right, exit door, because when they when they pay the money, they have to take the goods and they have to go out quickly. That's what the counters near the entrance. That's a very good layout planning. And we have to have an emergency exit, right? So if you plan smartly about your business layout, your service time may be reduced from 15 minutes to 18 minutes per orders, and customers satisfaction will increase very dramatically. That's one of the important function. And let's talk about the production scheduling. It means organizing all activities in the right sequence and timing to avoid the confusion and delays. Let's say you are managing a small carpentry workshop in Kandy area, right? you know your scheduling evolution, right? Let's say without scheduling, you started multiple orders simultaneously, you confused about which order to complete first. Your tools and materials scattered everywhere here and there. Customers never knew when their furnitures would be ready. But now you have a production scheduling, right? So after your production scheduling, my dears, you complete one order before starting the next. You plan each day's activities the night before. You keep your customers very informed about the progress. You allocate specific time for the each activities. So that is production scheduling, deciding the production planning according to the schedule, organizing activities in sequences, preventing the production overlap beyond time, time management coordination. It's all about production scheduling. And another important function, that is quality management. What this means, you have to ensure every step of your process creates a good quality output, not just checking quality at the end. Okay. So monitoring each process and the outputs, ensuring the products meet requires quality management throughout the production process, not just after. So let's say you are checking quality in every step. Let's say you are home-based catering service in Betiklo. You are doing quality management approach. What should you approach? First, you are selecting the ingredient. Only fresh vegetables from trusted suppliers. And your preparation, you have a clean workspace, proper hygiene, correct measurements. At your cooking stage, you are tasting, you are doing taste testing, temperature monitoring, as well as timing, as well as in the packaging, you are thinking about the proper containers, attractive presentation, clear labeling. In the delivery also, on time delivery, proper temperature, polite service. So every step you are checking the quality. So quality management is like a parenting, my dears. You guide and correct, right? You guide and correct throughout the process, not just punish at the end if something goes wrong about our children's, right? This is like a parenting. That is quality management. So these are the pre-production activities or functions of operation management. This is a repeatable question area, my dears. Let's see one question from 2024 July paper, section B, question number 4A question. Explain two functions of operation management other than supply chain management. So we know supply chain management is one of the function. So other than that, what are the functions, and explain here. Quality management focuses on maintaining and improving the quality of the products and services through quality control, quality assurance, and continuous improvement practices. And capacity planning entails determining the necessary resources such as equipment, workforce to meet the production demand and ensure the operations can handle the current and future workloads. And production scheduling involve planning and organizing production activities to ensure that products are manufactured on time and meet demand while optimizing the use of resources. Facility or layout management focuses on managing the physical workspace and equipment, ensuring that facilities are maintained safe and conducive to efficient operation. Forecasting demand. The production is made for the purpose of making the sale in the market. Hence, the production volume needs to reflect the market demand. Hence, it is required to finalize the production plan in order to be accurate about how many volumes or units to be produced. Simple, right? So those are the key functions. And the importance of operation management, you can understand, as I mentioned earlier also, it will create some competitive advantage, my dears. Provide a competitive edge in the market by reducing the cost, increasing the quality, improving the delivery speed, as well as it can increase the customer satisfaction. It will enhance the customer satisfaction by delivering the quality products on time, as well as it will increase your profitability, right? It will increase the company's profit by reducing the cost through efficient operation. So these are the benefits or importance, you can say. So these are the key functions and activities. And now let's move to the production methods, right? So there are 6 methods I have identified for you. I'm in the notes, actually this is like a table. Job production, batch production, flow production, cell production, as well as lean production and just-in-time production. I'm going to explain you very simple manner, my dears. These are very different ways to organize our production. As well as choosing the right method, it will make some difference between success and failure in your business, right? Let's say, imagine there are 5 different restaurants in Colombo. In each restaurant, they are using some different production method. One restaurant is job production. One is batch, one is mass, it means flow production. One is following just in time, one is following lean production, right? So these are the method, my dears. So let's say job production, producing a single item according to a specific customer's needs. That is job production. Let's say you are doing a wedding cake shop. It means custom wedding cake shop. Each cake is very unique. If you are doing a tailoring services, you are doing a job production. For each tailoring needs, measurements are different. That's something called job production. right? What are the advantages are here? Because high quality, because according to your needs, according to your specific requirements, they will prepare the high quality as well as flexibility. Customer satisfaction is very high because according to the customer requirement only we are doing. What are the disadvantages? It's high cost because according to the customer focus we have to do. High cost, long production time, right? So these are the disadvantages we can say also. This is all about job production, right? So job production, just simply, a single order production, right? And let's talk about the batch production now. Batch production is, producing identical items in groups. Let's say you are going to produce thousands bar chocolates, but same kind of chocolates, same type of cake, but in a batches. Batches mean thousands, 500. So producing identical means same items, but in groups or batches, that is batch production. What are the advantages here? We can use the resources efficiently, because one time we can process everything. So the unit cost will be less and some flexibility also we can have. What are the disadvantages? There can be delays because high inventory requirements, we need to wait, right? So those are the similar simple introduction of batch production. Normally the bakery, they are matching the batches of different bread types, okay? That is batch production. And let's talk about the mass production of flow production. What this means: manufacturing the large quantities of identical items. This is also identical items, the same item, but not like batch. It's more than large quantities, more than batch production, or a continuous production like a vehicle manufacturing, right? That is mass production, like a large scale biscuit factory. Continuously they are producing mass production, right? So the advantages are these are low cost because you are going to produce 100,000, 200,000 large production continuously. So it's low cost, fast production, and economies of scale. It means you can get the raw materials and whatever the ingredients in bulk. So you can get some large discounts, higher discount. As well as the disadvantages are less flexibility, high initial investment because you need machines, you need factory and things, a lot of things, right? And cell production, dividing the production line into small, right? Like a job division, independent groups, it means different cells with each cell performing a specific task. It's like a job division. What is the advantage? The team spirit will be there. It will increase the productivity because one person is doing the same job again and again, so he can get specialization. The disadvantage is it requires more training, very complex planning needed. That is cell production, right? Let's talk about lean production. So lean production means it's a philosophy aimed at reducing the waste and interesting customers value, right? That is lean production, very efficiency focused, right? Wastage, reducing the wastage. So the advantages are we can reduce the cost, we can increase the efficiency. This is a continuous improvement. The disadvantages are it's very difficult to implement. It is depending on the supply chain needs. Lean production, okay? So just in time production is simply production to meet the market demand only. You are not going to keep more inventories here. Without stock holding, avoids waste from overproduction or waiting excess inventory. If you receive the order only, you will take the raw materials. Those are the production methods, my dears. Right? I think in the notes I will give you the comparison of the production methods also. That is very easy. Just in time, it's like a Pizza Hut and Burger King. Yeah, just in time. If you are going and giving the order only, they will arrange the food and ingredients. No stock holding, right? They're not making the pizza and put into the shelves. They will make the pizza after you have ordered. That is just in time, right? So I hope so you understood. So this is also one of the time they have tested this question in actually 2021 July question number 5C question. Explain two key production method. So you can explain very simply, here's the job production. Production takes place for a single order from the customer. In this method, the business doesn't maintain finished goods in stock, right? Since the design and other features of the products may differ among the priorities of the customers, and hence the customers do not wish to buy ready-made products. As their priority for custom made products, the business wait for the orders and the production is started once the order from the customer is confirmed. In order to reduce the customer's waiting time, the required raw material may be kept at the stock in advance. This method is more suitable for customized products such as carpentry works, construction, catering. Okay, and let's move to the batch production. The production is made in batches. Every batch will have a fixed number of units. Since the production machineries are organized in such a manner to process a certain capacity at a time, if the production units are lower than the fixed capacity, the cost may be high, right? Or the machinery may not be processed due to low weight. So every batches may be customized in limited aspects such as design or color, but the items in the same batch are similar. Since the production volume is high, finished goods are stocked until the opportunities arise for sale. This production method is suitable for a long durable goods such as plastic furniture. Because very limited customization, we can stock until sale. Batch production. Mass production, this is the manufacturing of large quantities in the production lines. In this method, the products are more standardized. There's no customization, right? And the process takes place often using assembly lines or automation technology. This aims on the efficient production of a huge volume of similar products. This production method is mostly suitable for the products frequently treated in bulk quantities such as vehicle tires, like that, right? Just in time. This is a production model which focuses on producing to meet the market demand, excluding stock holding. We are not going to hold any stocks in just in time. The purpose of just in time production is to avoid the waste associated with overproduction, waiting, and excess inventory. Since this is a production based on customer demand, this is referred like job production in some instances. The primary difference is to seen here is the job production generally targets in the small scale production based on the traditional technology. Just in time is the modernized version which has the extended production capacity with access to technology in production. This method is followed by the leading franchise chains such as Pizza Hut, Burger King, etc., who cooks only when the customer order is placed. My example is here. Let's talk about lean production. Rather than being referred to as a production technology, lean manufacturing is referred as a production philosophy. It's not only a technology; it's a philosophy. This is a Japanese philosophy, has the concern on two major areas. The first one is maximize the value of the customers, minimize the usage of all the resources. So, since the customer focus is to have valuable products at a low cost, the above two key focuses of lean manufacturing enable the businesses to have a long standing market. For this purpose, it necessitates the business not only to listen to the customer, like just in time production, but also on the internal process to reduce the resource usage cost by eliminating the unnecessary inventory, non value adding process, and wastage. Simply, they are reducing the wastage. By maximizing the value to the customers, minimize the usage of all the resources. And push and pull production, we will learn this very detailedly, but this is also one of the method. What is that? A push manufacturing is a method where the business produces first and pushes the products to the market. It means you are going to produce the goods and you will push to the market and people will buy. Hence, the business needs to stock the products until they are short, and there is an uncertainty of the selling the products since the production decision didn't consider the market demand. In the push method, we are not considering the market demand. We are producing a lot of goods and we are pushing to the market, and in the assumption that people will buy. Also, the business may have suffered with low sales price when they try to push a huge volume, and due to the excess supply, the prices go down. If you are pushing 100,000 units but only the demand for the 10,000, you have to reduce the price, no option. On the other hand, there is something called pull is allowing the market to pull out the products from the business. First the market demand is created and then the business produces that. First we will check and create the market demand. In this model, the entire production will be short out in the market since the demand is there. Hence, the business can enjoy less finished goods stocking and cost of damages, fast response to customer demand, and movement of business with a market sense. That is pull. So these are the methods, my dears, we can utilize it here, right? So these are the production method actually you are having, right? So let's talk about operation management in service sector. I have already included this. The service sector is a field that provides intangible services like banking, hospitals, and we have challenges like intangibility of services. Quality is difficult to measure, as well as customer participation. Customers are involved in the service delivery process, and forecasting demand is difficult. So already we have seen what are the challenges in a proper manner. So I'm deleting that. As well as already we have discussed about these, what do you call the strategies also. Okay, now let's move to the Potter's value chain. What is this? A model, right? That explains how a company creates value. It is divided into primary activities and support activities. Guys, let's take 10 minutes break time and I will continue the session. Please be in the meeting, okay? So I'll take 10 minutes break and let's continue. Right. So let's continue. Porter's value chain. Right. So Porter's value chain, this is one of the very important topic in your business management, my dears. As you know, this is actually by Michael Porter. So he's the one introduced this one, Porter's value chain. So it's a model that explains how a company creates value, and it is divided into primary activities and support activities. So this is a powerful framework we are going to learn that will show how business can create value for the customers. And we will see a series of connected activities, right? So the value chain concept is here. This is by Michael Porter. So there are primary activities as well as secondary activities. So this is the actual value chain. So these are the primary activities. You have to remember these activities. That is inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales and services. These are the primary activities. So inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing, as well as service. So you have to remember these are the primary activities. And the support activities are here. The procurement. Procurement means purchasing the raw materials and things. And procurement, technology development, HRM, human resource development, and firm infrastructure. These are the support activities, right? So this is the value chain concept. So this chain is actually breaks down all the business activities into primary as well as some secondary or supportive activities, right? So supporting activities are supporting to the primary activities actually. So let's learn about these activities very quickly. The first one about primary activities. So the primary activities directly related to the creation and delivery of a product, right? So he's creating these primary activities because these are directly related to the creation and the delivery of a product. If you see inbound logistics, getting the raw materials, it means receiving the quality raw materials from the suppliers. And operations means the production process. Sometimes we will do cutting, shaping, assembling, furnishing, everything, right? Operations. Outbound logistic in the sense we will do packaging and delivering to the customers. And marketing and sales, we will advertise and we will sell the actual goods or services. And service means after sales support service and some sort of services, right? So these are directly related to the creation. So, the inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics are creation, and delivering, marketing, sales, after sales service. So it directly related to the creation and the delivery of a product. So you can see the primary activities are inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, as well as services. Let's learn one by one. So inbound logistics, receiving the raw materials, right? You are receiving the raw materials from the supplier, you are taking into the warehouses, and you are doing that inventory controls for these your input materials. So everything is related with the inputs. It means inbound logistics, right? Let's talk about operations, value creating activities that transform your inputs into final products. Actually, what's happening in the factory level, right? We will do cutting, shaping, assembly, and things, right? Like that. And outbound logistics means getting the finished products from the factory to the customer. That is outbound logistics. We will do warehousing after our finished goods. We will do warehousing for our input raw materials also, as well as we will do warehousing for our final products also. And we will fulfill the customer's orders. Those are related with outbound logistics, right? And marketing and sales activities to get the buyers to purchase your products, right? So that is marketing. We have to select the channel where we are going to do the advertisements, right? Our pricing, everything, advertising and sales, selling, right? As well as services, maintaining and enhancing the product's value after sales service, right? So customer support, doing repair services, those are after sales support. So these are, you have to remember, my dears, these are the primary activities. It's creating and delivering the products to the final consumer. Those are primary activities. Let's see one question from here. This is actually from 2025 January section A 1.5 question. Which one of the following is a primary activity of a Porter's value chain? Marketing and sale, infrastructure, human resource, technology development. Actually, it's going to be what? It's going to be the first one, marketing and sales. We know what are the primary activities: inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, as well as after sales service. So marketing and sales is going to be the answer. So simple, right? So those are the primary activities. Let's move to the support activities. Those that support for the primary activities are considered as a supporting activities or secondary activities, right? So those are procurement, as well as technology development, human resource management, as well as firm infrastructure. What is means by the procurement? Purchasing the raw materials, not the final goods, okay? Raw materials inputs used in the value creating activities. We are sourcing the best, right, materials for the best prices from the suppliers. Purchasing, simply purchasing means procurement. And technology development, it means we will do some research and development. We will do some process automation, technology support. So these will support our main function, right? Operation. So those are technology development, right? We will use modern tools and techniques in our operation, as well as human resource management. We will recruit the best talents. We will develop them through the training. We will compensate through the salaries and whatever the possible benefits we can give. That is compensation of employees, human resource management, HR management, the training, skilled professionals, right? And firm infrastructure, what this means, we are going to have a structure, right? Managing the finances, planning, quality control, everything we need structure, right? So that is all about the Porter's value chain, my dears. There's nothing much talk about here. Just you have to remember and write it, right? So the value chain, my dears, is like a cricket team. You need good batsmen, primary activities, but also good coaching, training facilities, team management. Those are like a support activities. To win the matches, we need both. Like that, to win the company, to win as a company, we need primary activities as well as supporting activities. So this is the Porter's value chain. This is a repeatable question area, my dears. Don't forget. Let's see one question here from 2022 July paper. Michael Porter's five forces model can be used to analyze the external environment or internal environment of the organization. And we are not considering the internal organization, right? Inbound logistics means we are getting the raw materials from the suppliers, that is outside. Operations, yes, that is actually the operations within the organization, but that's just a one aspect. As well as in outbound logistics, it's deal with customers. Marketing and sales deal with customers externally, sales after sales support, as well as the procurement, technology development, human resource development, everything. It's focus on external environment, not in internal environment. So you have to remember this point, right? And let's see another question also, that is from 2021 July question 5A question. Identify two support activities in the Porter's value chain. You know, right, very well now. Those are procurement, technology development, human resource development, and firm infrastructure, right? So those are A question. And let's move to supply chain management. What does this mean by supply chain management, my dear? As I mentioned earlier, from sourcing the raw materials to delivering your goods or services to the final consumers, the entire journey is a supply chain management, right? This is about managing the entire journey of the products from the suppliers to customers, right? So let's learn about the management of the flow of goods or services and the information from the raw materials supplier to the final consumer. This is all about supply chain management. From the raw material supplier to final consumer, whatever the flow we are doing, whatever the things we are, taking actions, those are considered as a supply chain management, right? There are four key elements. This is one of the exam area. There are a lot of elements, but I'm including only the four key elements. That is, in the supply chain management, the first element, integration, operations and purchasing, as well as distribution. Let's see one by one. So the key elements means the supply chain, involved in making very effective manner for the operations by using these elements, right? So let's see, the first one is integration. Connection between variable elements in continuous operations, right? We will have some, what you call a connection. It means making sure all parts of our supply chains are connected and communicate effectively. That is integration. Let's say you are running a clothing boutique in Colombo. You have integration challenges and solution also. Before you integrated, right, your all supply chain functions, your suppliers delivered without advance notice, no communication between your shop and your tailors, right? And customers, they are complaining about delays, but you couldn't explain why. Then you are running out of inventory suddenly without warning. So that is without integration of all the supply chain elements. But now you have eliminated all the supply chain process. Now you have improved. You have a regular communication. You have weekly calls with your suppliers about the delivery schedules. You have some shared information, right? Suppliers know, oh, what are your busy seasons. They know about your production schedules. Your planning is coordinated. You are working with the tailors to plan the production, based on the customer's orders, and you are giving real time updates. So customers, they receive updates about the order status and everything. So that is integration, connection between variable elements in the continuous operation. And you have to have operations. It means creating outputs to satisfy the customers. That is simply operations we are mentioning. So there can be manufacturing operations as well as service operations, right? So the manufacturing or service delivery activities, those are considered as operation. It will create some value, right? Let's say you are operating a small furniture workshop. You have manufacturing operation as well as service operation. What are your manufacturing operations? You have to have an experienced carpenters. They should create a high quality furniture. As well as you have to check the quality at each stage, not just at end. And you must have some efficient workflow. You have to organize your workspace where the materials flow logically from cutting to finishing, like that. As well as you have some service operation. What are those? The design consultation. You have to help the customers to choose the design that fit their homes, right? If you are doing furniture business. And you have to have a regular communication about the order states. You have to have a careful transport and installation in the customer homes. So you have to provide delivery service, after sale service. So these are operations. And the third element is purchasing. It means you have to acquire raw materials and services from appropriate vendors. We have to acquire the right raw materials and services from the right vendors at the right time, at the right quality, with the right price. Right? So let's say you are running a restaurant, my dears. You have to have a supplier selection criteria, right? You have to check the quality. The vegetables must be fresh, the meat properly stored. You have to check the reliability. The suppliers who deliver on time, even during bad weather, even. You have to receive a competitive price. Then only you can make some reasonable profit. Right? The supplier, they have to offer credit, flexible payment arrangements during the slow business periods. That's how you have to source your raw materials. That is purchasing. As well as the core element of the supply chain management is the distribution. Connecting with the customer side and delivering the products or services based on the requirements, right? Distribution simply means getting your products or service to the customers in the right condition at the right time through the right channels, right? So let's say you are producing a homemade, pickles in Beticlo, and you are distributing island wide. You have to choose your distribution strategy. In your packaging, you have to have some airtight containers so that preserve the taste and prevent spoilage. And you have to choose a transportation strategy for your distribution. You have to have some refrigerated transport for the quality maintenance. You have to choose your channel selection, like you are selling through grocery stores, online platforms, direct sales. And you have to cover your geographic, like you are starting locally and gradually expanding to other districts, then provinces, then other countries, right? So that is all about distribution, Maria. So these are the four key elements. This is also a repeatable question area. So let's see a question from, this is actually 2023 July question, section A 1.13. See, state two key elements of a supply chain. Simple, right? I have given you Four actually: integration, operation, purchasing, and distribution. Others are innovation, performance, measurement, alignment, technology, coordination is there. But please remember the key four elements. That's more than enough, right? And supply chain management importance. Why we have to manage our supply chain from the raw material to the customers? Why we have to do, right? That is the reason, my dears. The first one is cost reduction. Because if you consider all about the supply chain management elements, and if you do a proper management only, you can minimize the procurement cost. It means purchasing cost. You can optimize your production process. You can negotiate better in your suppliers, right? With your suppliers, you can reduce some logistic expenses, as well as you can improve the customer satisfaction, right? Timely, you can deliver the products, better inventory management, higher customers loyalty will be there, and you can enhance the efficiency, faster production cycle, reduce the lead times, better coordination between suppliers and distributors. And you will do risk management. You will identify the supply chain risk, you will handle supplier failures, develop contingency plans, build some reliable partnerships, right? So those are the importance, right? The importance of supply chain management. And let's see the other one. Give me a second. Right. And the fifth one is better visibility and insight, greater business control, improved performance flow, quick response disruptions, and smarter purchasing decision, better raw material procurement, right? Improved decision making, quick response to market changes, and you can increase the sales and profitability, customer satisfaction, cost reduction. Everything is very self-explanatory. Anyhow, I will explain in the questions also, Marius. Let's see one question how it's tested. List two elements of supply chain management. This is also we have already seen. What is that? Integration, operation, purchasing, distribution. So you can answer. So these are the supply chain management importance. And let's move to the forecasting demand. What is this? This is one of the function, right? One of the function of the operation management, right? That is forecasting the demand. Right. So we are going to learn this in a deep manner, forecasting demand. Right. What is this? The process of estimating future sales. The process of estimating the future sales. We are going to estimate our future sales. That's something called forecasting demand. It is essential for the production, for the capacity, as well as for the resource planning. That is simply, forecasting like this. This is about, predicting the customer demand. So you can plan the production, manage the resource. You can avoid having too much or too little inventory. So you can understand what demand means in business terms, right? And why we have to forecast it accurately. Then only we can produce. Sometimes, you are running a small bakery, you are having too little production. Customers disappointed, right? You lost the sales. Your reputation is damaged. But even if you too much production, if you do too much production, you are wasting the resources, spoilages, financial loss. But so you have to have a just right production. So if you forecast the demand only, you can have a just right production. So happy customers, minimal waste, maximum profit, right? So that is demand forecasting, my dears, right? So there are so much of things, right? Factors to contributing to the demand prediction is there. I will include those things in the notes area. It's not much important, right? So I'm including so much of notes in the notes, but I'm not including each and everything in the lesson of mind map because that's not much important. As well as you can just read and understand those things. Okay, that's what I'm not including. And capacity planning, as you know, this is also one of the core function. Capacity planning means we're determining the production capacity needed to meet the market demand. So we will do some strategies, capacity leads demand. So provide the capacity ahead of forecast, right? So first we will think about our capacity, then we will forecast, and after that we will produce. So capacity lags demand. So wait to see the demand, then respond. as well as capacity matches demand. So these are one of the strategies. Monitor the market regularly and respond to increase or decreases. So these are the strategies you can use in capacity planning. And facility layout designing, one of the function, you know, this is simply like the arrangement of different manufacturing aspects like machines, equipment, and workspaces within the production facility. There are layout models, my dears: process layout, product layout, fixed position layout, and cellular layout, right? I will include this in a very detailed manner in the notes areas, but it's very self-explanatory. Process layout, like grouping similar activities together, that is process layout, right? According to the similar activities, according to the process, you are going to group those process. A product layout means arranging the resources sequentially based on the product's routing, right? So because of these product having these processes, according to that you are arranging, that is product layout. And fixed position layout, like the product remains in one place and workers and equipment move around it, like when we are producing ships, airplanes, we will use this fixed position layout. And cellular layout is like grouping machines according to the process requirements for similar items, like. So these are very self-explanatory, not tested areas in much ways. Those are the layout models. And let's move to scheduling of work. Deals with producing the required quantity within the required time frame. This is simply scheduling. The scheduling approaches are forward scheduling. Forward means the planner consider the order receive date for forward planning, right? You have to consider the order received and you have to think for the future when we are going to deliver. Backward scheduling means the planner should consider the order delivery date for backward planning, right? So I'll explain these things in a later manner when we are doing actual questions and the revision stage. And let's move to quality management. That also one of the function. The process ensuring that products and services meet or exceed the customer expectation. That is quality management. So there are quality circles. Those are like small groups of employees responsible for identifying and resolving quality related issues. That's something we mention as a quality circles. And total quality management, this is the exam area, my dears, right? Total quality management means it is a structured approach to improve the quality of the outputs through a continual improvement. So the important word is continuously we are going to improve. That is the total quality management, TQM. We refer that as a total quality management, TQM, total quality management, right? So this is already most of the time, it is tested. So much of time they have tested this time. And principles of TQM, there are principles like a process, customer focus. So total quality management is a process, not a one-time task. And we are focusing on the customers, and strategic approach and continuous improvement, integrated systems, and employee involvement, communication, and fact-based decision making. So quality management, total quality management is usually an exam area. Again and again, I'm repeating because you have to understand this will be tested on your examination paper as well, right? So these principles also, this is also one of the key element of examination area. Several times, even we can say every time they are testing these principles, right? So you have to understand what is the process needs. So total quality management focus on the process improvement. They are focusing on the customer focus. They are trying to do something exceeding the customer expectation, as well as it is a strategic approach. It's a continuous improvement. It's never ending improvement cycle. It is integrated with systems, all parts working together. Employee involvement will be there in the total quality management. And everyone aware of the plans and strategies, communication, and it's also fact-based decision making. Let's see one question from here. This is actually from 2022 July paper 1.2. Which one of the following is a principle of total quality management? Employees involvement, integrated system, process, all of the above. We have seen, right? It's very self-explanatory. All of the above are the principle, right? As well as, let's see another question that is from July 2023 1.5. You are provided the following statements with reference to the total quality management. Of the above, correct statement with reference to the total quality management. Integrated system is a principle of TQM, correct? It is a structural approach to overall organizational management. Continuous improvement is not required for the TQM. What is the answer? The answer is going to be the first one, 1 and B only. It is an integrated system as it is a structural approach to overall organizational management, but continuous improvement is not required for the TQM is not correct, right? It is required. So that is integrated system. So you just remember the principles of total quality management. And there is another question also that is from 2025 section C E question. State 5 principles of total quality management. Just simply state, here. It is customer focus, prioritize meeting and exceeding the customer expectation, total employee involvement, process approach, integrated system, strategic and systematic approach, continuous improvement, fact-based decision making, communication. Same things, right? So those are the principles of total quality management. And you have to know the advantages as well as the disadvantages of total quality management. I have already included this as a notes also. The advantages are it is strengthened the competitive position, market adaptability, higher productivity, enhance the market image, defect and waste elimination, reduce the cost, higher profitability, improve the customer satisfaction. And disadvantages are demands cultural change because the culture will change. You have to improve for that and requires extensive planning, resources, quality is expensive to implement, take years to show the results, discourage creativity, not a quick fix solution, risk of financial focus loss because we are focusing on long term. So this is already tested in 2024 question E, my dears. The question is asking here, state 5 advantages that can be achieved through total quality management. So here the answer is same answer: strengthen competitive position, higher productivity, enhance market image, elimination of defects, waste, reduce cost, and better cost management. So same thing. The ultimate part is with you. You have to remember, read, understand, carry the notes, and write the exam very well. That's the main part. And let's see, Kaizen. This is also a Japanese technology, my dears. This is a philosophy of continuous improvement. Small improvements we have to do, but continuously we have to do. That is Kaizen approach, right? As well as 5S, a standardized process. We will see that, short, straighten, shine, standardize, sustain. These are the 5S's. I have provided you a better notes in your notes area, so you can read it that one. And modern technology in operation. This is also one of the important area, right? The modern technology in the operations. So there are types of technology. The process of, these are the types of technologies. Sketch, computer aided design. What is this? Computer technology that design the products and documents the design process. That is sketch. AutoCAD you might heard about. We will design our entire home, right? So computer based technology, CAD system, as well as CAM system, computer aided manufacturing. What is this? Application technology using the computer software and machinery to facilitate and automate the manufacturing process. That is CAM, computer aided manufacturing. We will have robotic arms in preparations. Those are CAM systems. As well as SIM system, computer integrated manufacturing. The use of computer controlled machinery and automation system. All are automation systems, my dears. It's combining the CAT and CAM. That is SIM, right? As well as artificial intelligence and machine learning. We are right now with the artificial intelligence era. Simulation of human intelligence processes by machines, including learning, reasoning, self-correction. That is AI. We know all about this, right? And the ML, machine learning. What is this? Field giving computers to capability to learn without explicitly program. All of the machine learning models are learning by themselves and producing the results. So artificial intelligence, machine learning, as well as this blockchain technology, right? So this technology allowing instantaneous transaction without middleman. The Bitcoin is in the blockchain technology. So transactions are secured and kept as unalterable records. No one can change, no one can hack the blockchain technology, right? So let's see one question here. State three advantages of using the blockchain technology into business. This is a common question. If we are using the blockchain technology, improve the accuracy by removing the human involvement in the verification, cost reduction by eliminating the third party verification, transactions are secure, private, and efficiency. Decentralization makes it harder to tamper with. Transparent technology, increase trust, security, increase speed. So you remember two, three things. This is very self explanatory, right? And the types of technology, the question also here, 2024 January section CC question, identify three specific automation technologies has incorporated into their business. CAT, CAM, SIM, that please remember that also. You have, okay, right? Continuous development, robotic process automation, mobile app, ERP system, computer aided design, CAT, computer aided manufacturing, CAM, computer integrated manufacturing, SIM, and artificial intelligence, machine learning, chatbots. They have included other also, but remember our notes. That's more than enough, right? And then impact of new technologies in the operation management. So what are the impacts it did in the operation management? It reduced the cost. Most of the impact, my dears, it minimized the procurement cost, optimized the production process, better supply negotiation. It reduced the logistic expenses, as well as it improved the customer satisfaction, right? We can deliver the goods in timely manner, effective inventory management, supplier coordination, higher customer loyalty, and it will enhance the efficiency, streamline the operation, better coordination, faster production, reduce the lead times. Lead time means waiting time. We don't need to wait more for our goods, right? So risk management, identify supply chain risk, mitigate the supply failures, handle the logistic issues, develop the contingency plans, right? So those are the impact of the technology. Better visibility and insights, as well as smarter purchasing decisions and increase sales and profitability, right? So you can see this question from this question, 2024 January. Identify two impacts of new technology of operation in the business. So it improves the quality of products, increase the innovation, cost reduction, computer-aided designing techniques have emerged, error-free manufacturing process, enhanced decision making, achieved competitive advantage. Almost the same answers. You can write your own answers also. This is very practical question, right? So those are I think we have covered all the topics, right? Right. Good. Operation management done and dusted. Let's see, is there any other questions we have missed? Okay. I think I have done all the questions, but anyhow, let's double check whether we have completed all the questions areas or not. Okay, 2025 January, all done. Okay, we have done. Question 4. Two importance of effective supply chain management. This is also we have, right? Cost reduction, improved customer satisfaction, enhanced efficiency, risk management, gain better visibility and insights, right? Supply chain management importance, right? That is actually here. So July paper is done, January paper in from section A. Okay, let's do this 1.2 question. You're gonna answer me. Which one of the following is the key functions of the operation management in an organization? Developing advertising campaign, managing employee benefits and payroll, ensuring the efficient use of resources and delivery of products or services, conducting market research and analysis. What is the product operation management thing? Developing advertising campaigns, that is marketing. Employee benefits and payroll, that is HRM. Conducting market research and analysis, that is R&D. Simply we can say, what is that third one? Ensuring the efficient use of resources and delivery of the products or services. That's the third one, right? And let's see, is there any other questions? Okay, we have done all the questions. January, okay. 2024 done. 2023. Right. B question. State an example each for the following pre-planning activities in an operation management process of a hotel. Supply chain management, capacity planning, quality management, layout planning. So you can simply answer this question. Give me a second, guys. Right. Okay. So for the supply chain management, capacity planning, everything you can do. Supply chain management, what is that? Placing orders for raw materials, food and ingredients, monitoring the inventory levels and food and capacity plan, determining the labor required in seasons, off seasons, determining the room capacity and layout planning. Plan the hotel layout for special event, determining the room layout based on the different packages. Quality management, ensuring the quality standards and of the foods for the hotel. This is very, tailored answers according to that question. We can manage to do that also. Okay, July paper 23 is done. January. No questions from operation management section E. Right. This B question. Explain how the following functions are important in operation management in an organization. Why supply chain management, quality management? It's actually in our notes. You can write. Supply chain management is the management of supplier relations and related aspects in order to ensure the business acquires the required material for its purpose. In the operation management at the pre-planning stage, it is required to ensure that the required materials are prepared in warehouse. If not, the supplier needs to be dealt in order to rectify the issue. Or supply chain refers to the collection of activities and elements between the supplier and the customer. According to supply chain management, helps in the right. And quality management, it refers to the fitness to purpose of the customer. The proper quality management will ensure that the inputs, process, and also the output are the expected level of quality. So you can read and understand because you know the core concept right now and what are the importance repeated questions so you can get ready for the examination, right? And importance of demand forecasting in operation management, right? So these are actually there, to enhance the process efficiency for better planning, to gain up to date market knowledge. These are actually in the notes, I think, right? And you can understand and write it down in your own words also. Right. So that's about January 2023 and 22 July. Okay. Okay, 1.12. State two support activities of a porter's value chain. Now you know there are four, right? Procurement, technology development, HRM, infrastructure. That's it. That is section A. And question number 4. Yes, see, state three key functions of operation management for success of an organization. You remember now? Supply chain management, forecasting demand, capacity planning, layout designing, production scheduling, quality management, operational planning. You can write in your own words. Explain two strategies that can be used to manage the supply chain of a business organization. We have seen several strategies, right? Here, demand recognition, total cost ownership, understand the value of risk technology, optimize the product design and product management, integrate supply chain with business goals. I think this is in our notes also. The strategies can be used to manage the supply chain business. Guys, is there anything missing in our mind map? You will see in the final book everything. Okay, I'm not going to miss any topics, right? So 2022 January, it's going to be with 1.10. Also, we have question that is, technology development or service is a primary activities of a porter's value chain. Service, after sales service, that's the primary service, right? So MCQ questions are going to be very normal questions. Writing questions also actually very normal question, but you have to plan your writing, right? That is 2021, 22, 21 July section A, marketing management, change management. Okay, no questions. Section B, strategic controlling, question 5 we have done. Okay. Section C, no. So July there's no question. January 1.3 is there. Support activity of the porter's value chain. Simply, operation, inbound logistics services are primary. So firm infrastructure should be the answer. Very simple questions. Because I have told you in a simple manner. So, okay, question 4, is there anything? Here, see, question 4. Identify 4 functions of a management. You know the functions: supply chain management, forecasting demand, capacity planning, layout planning, production scheduling, quality management, right? New technologies used in operation management. What is that? Chem, CAT, SIM, artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, computer aided designing, computer aided manufacturing, computer integrated manufacturing, blockchain, machine tech learning, right? Right. Section B. Section C is not with operation management. So 2020, the last paper, July, section A, 1.3 is related with operation management. Here, see, which one of the following is a primary activity of a porter's value chain? Operation. Procurement, infrastructure, HRM are the support activities. So answer is going to be the first one. And 1.5. Which one of the following is an element of a supply chain management? Operations, integration, purchasing. Actually, it's all of the above. And 1.11. List 2 pre-production activities. Pre-production activities means functions of the operational management. So here they are saying having required materials, determining production volume, but this is very old paper. You have to write our answer, that is, what do you call, supply chain management, that kind of stuff. So change management 1.15 is operation management. State 2 principles of total quality management. It's a process. Can you remember? It's a process. It is integrated system. It is focused on customers. It is have a strategic approach, improves continuously, integrated system, employee involvement, communication, decision making based on facts. You can just write only 2. So no questions in section B. Section C already done. So my dears, congratulations. We have done and dusted with this operation management, right? 10% of your syllabus. That's it. So there will be some comprehensive notes in the operation management, but I have 95% I have covered with accuracy, everything. Only 5% there will be some, change and some addition, some removable in the actual notes you are going to receive. Otherwise, 95% everything is completed. You are get ready. Okay, you are ready to do answer the operation management question. Let's see all of you in the next session in the chapter 4 marketing management. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye. See you.